We're a strategic design studio. We focus on system level challenges, focusing entirely on new models of institutions. One of the big things we're starting to see is a shift in innovation being focused on objects or services, but to actually institutional innovation. We're starting to see a whole new class of thinking around the future of accounting, a whole new class of thinking of how we regulate in a codified world. What does code legislation look like? Whole class of thinking around new models of cryptocurrencies, new models of databases. I think we're going to see a massive transformation in our capacity to govern, organize and account the future. That I think is going to be probably foundational to driving the real goals of sustainability, which aren't going to be driven by products and services, but actually reimagining the institutional infrastructure of the 21st century. The future is not going to be made evidence-based policy per se, it's going to be about experiment-based policy. And how do you create the public legitimacy for those experiments? So increasingly the cycle is no longer evidence drives policy, the cycle is actually it's emotions driving politicians and politicians driving policy. So if we're going to reverse this cycle, we have to reimagine the notion of how experiments and legitimacy and civic engagement have to actually feed into a new type of politics. This can't be delivered just by actually evidence alone. I think we have to reframe the role of a policymaker to building new civic movements for new civic ideas.
So what I want to think about it from this perspective, I'm going to look forward to you.
Well, Climate-KIC, if you look back at its history, is basically the MIT of Europe. I think Climate-KIC needs to advance the big societal challenges that Europe faces. These problems knit together to form the challenge of our cities. And if we're going to address them, they won't be addressed purely on the basis of climate change. They'll be addressed in how these problems come together and untangling and retangling them for the 21st century. That I think is a challenge. The role of Climate-KIC, in my view, is to actually drive those innovations of the 21st century, which are a whole new class of innovation at a societal scale. And that is where I think Europe has a capacity to build the lead market of the future in driving those societal innovations. And that's where Climate-KIC can be the MIT of the European environment.
Actually, the real issue at the centre of this is getting people to become conscious of their